All right. We have a crazy, crazy, crazy past few days in NASCAR news, and I figured I'd hop on and try to talk about it and give a podcast for the folks. So, first thing, I'm just going to get right into it because the Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin news blew my mind, absolutely speechless. I was walking up the stairs coming home from work last night, and my jaw just dropped. Even though it was a rumor, I don't take rumors all that serious. You can't see everything on the internet and believe it right when you see it. So I'm like, all right, I'll take it with a grain of salt. If it happens, it'll be crazy. And it did. And it blew my mind. I was so pumped. Great for Bubba Wallace to get an opportunity again. And you knew, I mean, it felt for me right when he left the 43 car that why would he leave an opportunity where he felt comfortable, said he loved it without having something set up? So it felt like he was going to go somewhere, and I know the 48 was a talk, but I mean, that ride's still up in the air, and it would have been cool to see him drive for Hendrick, but this opportunity is way more interesting, I think, to the fans, even to an NBA fan saying, oh, MJ's owning a team. That's kind of wild, and maybe they'll go tune in for a race. So I think everything about it is just crazy. Really, really great for the sport to have someone with the caliber of Michael frickin' Jordan coming in and majority owning a team, which is history in its own right, and preaching for diversity and wanting more for the sport. And I think it's all you can ask for someone new coming in. And I'm just so excited to see what they do. And I hope they get more than a one-car team in the future, having a two-car team with someone like Suarez. Think about Suarez coming in there, pushing for diversity. We got a all-Mexican NASCAR champ. That would be really, really cool to see him come in. And I just think everything about it is crazy. They took the Germain Racing charter, which, I mean, poor Ty Dillon's over here like, well, you could have thought of me, but no, I mean, what his future looks like is up in the air in my eyes. I would push that he goes to Xfinity, gain some confidence back, maybe get a couple more dubs under his belt, because I don't think one Xfinity dub and then driving for a mid-tier cup team is gonna really gonna push your future forward. So see what he does. I mean, I hope he pulls it together. I'm sure he got all the backing from RCR still. He could. They got a couple part-time teams, at least one with the 21. I mean, they got Alfredo and Kaz lighting stuff up down there. So I mean, I don't know how many openings they're gonna give him, but it's family. So you'd think that they're gonna give an opportunity to Ty, unless maybe Nab's a cup ride still. I mean, there's still a few options out there. I mean, the 48. Yeah, no. The 96 is still out there. The 32, I don't know what LaJoy's doing next year. That might be up in the air, but I know he wrote a letter to Rick, so I think he might be actually be in a contract year. So we'll see what that happens. I mean, what do they drive? They drive Chevys or Fords, 32 team. I want to say they drive Fords, so that wouldn't really coincide with the RCR thing. But regardless, I think Ty will land on his feet. I think he's got enough backup behind him to find a decent ride somewhere and hopefully try to build up his career and find his way back in the Cup Series. And imagine, so let's say Kevin Harvick pulls away, wins this championship. Denny Hamlin gets snubbed again for like the 17th time in his career. Let's say 3 years down the road, Toyota's got so many young drivers literally every year coming up. I mean, you look at the Truck Series, you got Christian Eckes, Chandler Smith, you got someone in ARCA like Ty Gibbs coming up, absolutely running shit. So you could think that in a handful of years that Joe Gibbs is going to want to bring someone while Denny is old and decrepit coming in. So you say Denny drives for his own team, wins his first championship as an owner. Storybook ending. I'm calling it right now. Can't tell you the year, but you heard it here first. That's all I'll say. All right, we'll move on. Another crazy thing that came out yesterday that, of course, I'm at work. I swear to God, every time I am there, I open my phone, look at Twitter, and I swear I miss literally a week's worth of stuff in a 4-hour span. It's insane. So, rumors of NASCAR going to the Circuit of the Americas, which is the F1 circuit down in Texas. They race there about annually. I'm not sure if they're going there this year because of COVID and all that, but I mean, you'd think they do because Texas really don't give a shit, do anything. So, I am not confident that the racing is going to be pristine and that it's going to be, this is the greatest road course. We needed to add this to the schedule. This is exactly what NASCAR needed. I think that it's a narrow track. It's built for some open wheel cars, and seeing some of the turns that even the F1 guys go through, I'm like, how in the hell is a stock car going to do that? There's some S's on that course that happen faster than I've seen any turns on a road course in my entire viewing of motorsports. It's insane. But it's going to be super interesting. regardless if the race sucks. Like, I can't sit here and say Daytona Road Course was the best race all year, but it was hella interesting just watching them go around something new. So it's going to be a great event. I think if they pair it with an F1 race, if that were to ever happen, like in a weekend type deal, I think that would be insane because it is absolutely clear that F1 is probably the most worldwide popular form of motorsports. So you'd think that getting maybe even half of the people that go to the F1 race that are diehard F1 fans go to a NASCAR race at the same track would be sick. And I think that is big for the sport, just going somewhere new in general. And Texas actually got another big date, different track in Texas though. They got the All-Star race next year, which is lit. Having that's 3 straight seasons of a new All-Star race track, and when the new car comes in 2022, who knows what's going to happen. I do feel like they're kind of using this 2020 and 2021 as like test years because they know major changes are coming in a year. So, I mean, why not try and do whatever you can, change some stuff up, satisfy the fans, have some fun for 2 years before it starts getting real, real serious. But I feel like a sprint race at Texas is going to be fun. The restarts there are insane. They go about 3 wide for 3 straight laps, and then who knows what's going to happen. And I feel like they normally bring out some crazy packages for the All-Star race. They do whatever they want, and especially in another year where they're probably just going to be testing stuff and seeing how it works. Why not try something new, try a new package for a mile and a half where people have been complaining left and right every single year that it happens. So it's going to be interesting. I do like with the Bristol. I mean, short tracks are cool. Bristol is really fun. I don't know, they should go back there at some point. But just having a different track other than Charlotte, I wish it wasn't a mile and a half. Now that I'm talking about it, if I'm honest, they probably could have booked like Martinsville maybe, or not Richmond. I didn't really like the Richmond race, if I'm honest. Like, I wouldn't want to see an All-Star race there. I mean, not much happened. But any short track, maybe Nashville Fairgrounds, if they didn't decide to go there for a cup event, just throw an All-Star race there, a whatever, give them something. If you're rumoring things about other tracks, or maybe Rockingham couldn't be done, North Wilkesboro couldn't be done. Those tracks are destroyed. But just having something new, short road, not a super speedway though. I mean, I'm kind of against that. I know everyone else is probably like, yes, please, please, Talladega All-Star race, but I mean, we get 4 good super speedway races a year, or even more with the duels and clashes and all that. So I don't need to see no Talladega All-Star foolishness, okay? We can be professional out here in the All-Star race too. We got a new driver for the 42, boys and girls. Ross Chastain was going to happen, most likely. We knew since probably 2018 that this was going to be his fate, but no one knew how soon or how it was going to happen. But with the Larson thing happening, a perfect opportunity for him to just snatch that ride. And that team's, they weren't the greatest when Larson was driving the first handful of races, and Matt Kenseth has done nothing. So I'm not sure how the team's going to do next year. Kurt Busch has been killing it, doing what he does, normal Kurt Busch stuff. But that 42 team has just been slow. And I don't know if it's Kenseth not being used to it or whatever it is, but it scares me thinking that Ross could be in that situation next year. And I don't think he's going to. I think he's much more well acclimated to current day NASCAR and how the cars drive. And I mean, that man has probably like 100 cup starts, and 2 or 3 of them have been in a respectable car. So he's been driving these things. It's just a matter of getting in the opportunity of a winning car, and here it is. Super excited to see what it does. I've loved watching his entire career. Back in, like, if you remember the '08 truck green with the watermelon on the back of the hood, just the watermelon seeds in the red. I mean, just watching him come through, and it was so fun to watch back then. You always liked those underdogs that ran for mid-pack teams, like the Austin Hills or someone like that. Hattori's been killing shit, so I can't call them a mid-pack team anymore, but someone of that nature, not your Joe Gibbs, not your Rick Hendricks, Kyle Busch Motorsports, all that. Seeing them come up and actually have respectable finishes is really fun. And then got into the BKR truck and was even better, and then it kind of fell off when Brad Keselowski Racing left, and you didn't see him much, and he was driving those JD Motorsports cars in Xfinity and outperforming them and having top 5s at the weekends where the Cup guys didn't go, and you're like, all right, this guy can do something. And then you see him get that. If he was able to drive that 42 car in the playoffs that one year. He made it with the JD Motorsports 4. And he drove, I'm pretty sure he won that Las Vegas race. It might have been either the cutoff race or a playoff race, one or the other. But if he was able to drive a top tier car for an entire extent of a playoffs, he really could have won that thing. In a car like the 42 where Larson was driving that thing, and that was like when Justin Marks would win on the road courses and all that too. Like, they were an actual competitive team. And if he was able to nab that ride, I mean, Ross Chastain could be an Xfinity champion already, and he could be in a Cup Series car winning races already. So it's crazy to think that someone as good as him has gone through enough BS and had so many unfortunate breaks to finally get something to work. And I really hope it works out, and I hope we see Ross in the playoffs next year and actually show him what he can do, because I think he's been deserving of a Cup ride longer than most drivers, and it's really, really fun to see. I'm so excited for him. And he could be teammates with Jimmy Johnson if Jimmy comes back for a race. That would be nuts. That'd be really cool. Ooh, what race would Jimmy Johnson come back for, do you think? If he were to run a off NASCAR race, I'd hope he'd come back for a Dover, run maybe a Marquis. I don't need to see him run a super speedway. I don't think he cares for that. But maybe while he's doing all the road course racing in IndyCar, comes back for like the Roval or something. He's got to win that Roval race. I don't care if he comes back. He could be 65 coming back for 20 straight years just racing that Roval race. He needs to win that race. That race owes him a dub. He deserves a dub there. He's got to get that dub there. And I think out of every single track that I want to see Jimmy Johnson get another win on, it is absolutely that Roval track. Without a doubt. I give a shit about another Daytona 500, and I mean, that would be really cool. But the Roval, man, Jimmy Johnson in the Roval is a tale that needs a happy ending, and we are going to get that happy ending. Imagine 65-year-old Jimmy Johnson just winning the Roval race. Martin Truex Jr., 64, not letting him win again. All right. Next thing, Hailie Deegan. I'm only going to say one thing on this because I know it was blowing up yesterday. I don't know if you're going to see this when it was yesterday, but she's got to kind of watch her mouth a little bit. She's young. No one's probably going to remember this in a year, but she shouldn't be putting herself in precarious situations when it comes to her future. And I'm not going to put her 100% at blame because she was kind of just chiming in on what her dad said, and she seems like the little spawn of Brian Deegan. Little crazy spawn. But I don't know. She just watch what you say. Be a little smarter when it comes to sensitive shit. I mean, I know the world's changing and people want to cry about everything, whatever, but this is a little bit of a serious topic, so just be more conscious of who you're listening. You have fans, and you don't know what some of these people have been through, and I've been seeing all on Twitter people responding to her, or even in my comments saying oh, I almost lost people, or I did lose people, and it's like, these people look up to you, or could look up to you, or really want to respect your career, so don't be losing fans, just not even from a fandom aspect. Don't be losing people that want to follow you, and people that could push your career forward, and saying some dumb shit that actually affects them could actually hurt you in the future. But that's all I'll say on it, because again, I don't think it'll be a big deal when she gets announced for a truck ride. No one's going to be like, oh, she said this on September, whatever the hell. So, just be smarter, Hailie Deegan. We're rooting for you, I hope. Okay, what do we got next? Bristol. Bristol was a fun race. I really, really enjoyed it. That's probably the first race in a handful of weeks that I just got to sit down, just intake it all, watch it, take what I wanted, enjoy it. And it was really fun, regardless of, it's easy to say I watch NASCAR for the wrecks, but I don't. I really enjoyed the side-by-side racing, and I don't need all them cautions. And I do think stage is great. Stage racing is amazing, so you won't change my opinion on that. Maybe you can take away the cautions, whatever, but having a few restarts in a race is nothing wrong with that, and you can't change my mind. But having just a few restarts in a race was actually fantastic. The race played out great. The Kyle Busch was killing it most of the race. Harvick came on at the end, but I didn't sit there and be like, all right, this person is going to win this race. There was 100% a sole winner at lap 150, like there was at Richmond, when you knew Brad was probably going to win the race regardless. And they had a similar feel, meaning not that many cautions. It wasn't a slow race at Bristol, but it felt slow at Richmond. But they had, if you probably look at the caution numbers, probably similar, caution laps, whatever. And it felt fresh. It felt nice to not have a race drag on, and especially a race at Bristol where you can assume that it's going to drag on for frickin' ever. But um, it actually played out great. The finish was amazing. And this is absolutely, while I was sitting there watching the race, this is the first time in my probably entire life that I've ever sat there and said, I want Kyle Busch to win this race. Never. Never have I said, yes, Kyle Busch, win this race. Never. But I wanted him to. As I got older, appreciate greatness. This is absolutely, and I hope it continues as time evolves, that the most competitive, most competitive time in NASCAR history is right now. You hope it evolves. Seeing someone as great as Kyle Busch, and even right now as Kevin Harvick is doing insane things on a racetrack, you got to appreciate it. And I want Kyle to succeed. Being a Jimmy Johnson fan my entire life, I've watched greatness my entire life. I want to watch more of it. I want to see Kyle Busch contend for not 7, because that's a number that only 3 men can have right now. But he can 5 championships. If Kyle Busch can reach Jeff Gordon number championships, is Kyle Busch better than Jeff Gordon? You tell me that in the future. I don't know. But seeing greatness happen is a fun thing to watch, and watching him. And you know Kyle is going to be excited when he wins. And I want to see that. I want to see that elation. And I'm happy Harvick was pumped up when he won, too, because after 9 wins, I'm sure it can become stale. And I think Denny said that one time. He won, a Pocono race, and he's like, oh, we've won 5, so it's hard to be as excited. Nah, bro. Be excited. You just want to race in NASCAR. Be excited. And Harvick did that, and it was fun. It was fresh. He was excited for the fans. And it was just a good time. It was a really good race, and I'm happy that it was a playoff race, a cutoff race. Bristol was in the perfect spot this year on the schedule, and I hope it stays there. It was really, really fun, and just watching some clean racing. It was a fresh race, and it was really, really fun. Really, really fun to watch. Harvick is unstoppable, though. Harvick is an unstoppable force that I don't think the field has figured out. He done gave the closer vibes again, and he been dominating races left and right this year, and he said, nah, I'm going to take this one at the end. So he's versatile as all ever, and it is frightening. Probably got the best crew chief with him too, at the moment at least. Rodney Childers is amazing. I mean, that man is on a mission. Right when Kyle Busch says, I got 2, I'm right behind Jimmy. I'm the second best, or I mean, arguably the best, because Jimmy had been off for a couple years. Harvick's like, nah, this one's mine, baby. And that man, there go that man, Harvick. And looking at I think that he probably has enough points to have a mediocre race at Las Vegas, wreck at Talladega, and finish 9th at the Roval. Probably still make the next round. He has just been killing it so hard this year, and I don't think anyone's gonna stop him unless it comes to something at Phoenix, man, because he is on his way there, and he's probably already prepping for it. And there go that man, bro. He's on another level right now, on another level than anybody. And what did happen? Whatever. All right, we're good. Back in the summer when Denny and Harvick were trading win, you were like, oh man, this is actually going to be a two-man race. But as the season progresses, I don't see no 2-man race coming anytime soon. Harvick is just pulling away, showing that he is by far the most dominant right now. Oh, but that round of 12 is gonna be a doozy. Las Vegas said it. A lot of the announcers touched on it too during the Bristol race, how important Las Vegas is for just survival purposes, getting those good points going through, and then not having trouble at Dega and the Roval. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be super interesting. I'm so excited to see how it plays out. That Dega race. I mean, I'm trying to remember if they've been tame in the fall. Oh, wait, whoa. Did I just use the word tame as I'm remembering Brennan Gaughan doing a 360 in that finish last fall? Absolutely not. But to think that someone who, oh my God, I'm thinking of all the scenarios right now. Brad Keselowski putting himself in a bad situation, getting a clutch win again. Oh man, it's going to be a blast. And then the Roval, just all right, I need to know this from you guys too. Do you want more than one road course in the playoffs? I'm thinking of it, probably shouldn't, because you want to keep it as NASCAR centric, I guess, as possible. But you also want to add challenges and challenge drivers to be the best at everything. And I'm liking where the Roval is. Having it as a cutoff race maybe makes it equally as important as having a second race. So you really got to perform at this one instead of the Roval's the first race of the playoffs and then they go to Watkins Glen as a cutoff race or some else. So having it as a cutoff race, it's really and the elimination of the ringers in road courses is making these full timers be aces, basically. Like someone like Martin Truex and Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott's won the last 3 or 4 on a road course. Like, you telling me he ain't going to be at the front? Or if you had someone like Scott Pruitt in his prime, Robbie Gordon in his prime, 2010 Robbie Gordon versus 2020 Chase Elliott. I think 2020 Chase Elliott's winning by like 6 seconds at most road courses. So these guys know what they're doing. You're probably going to see the same contenders up at the Roval like Chase or Martin. But the strategy of that race and the stage points, like it's at a road course, it's normally the stages kind of ruin it because you can make it to the first stage on a pit stop normally. But I feel like with the Roval, people are going to want to make those early pit stops and get good track position for the next restart or the next stage, whatever it's going to be. So it's going to be a hella good race. Super excited to see how it plays out and to see that 48 win that fucking race. He's gonna. One of these days, Jimmy Johnson gonna win that Roval race. I'm telling you. Now, for next year in the 48, who the hell knows? Because I couldn't tell you. Kyle Larson or Eric Jones, 2 big names. I got a sleeper. And I don't know if he's a sleeper because he's been lighting shit up in the Xfinity Series right now. But Justin Allgaier, man, you telling me Justin Allgaier doesn't maybe deserve a nod in that race? Maybe. He's like the third in the running. That man is performing right now, and he drove the 48 at Indy. He's clearly got the HMS GR Motorsports thing going for him. He's a veteran. They're looking for a veteran. Why not have someone who hasn't had the opportunity try and show that, hey, maybe I can do this for a couple years full time while you try and figure things out, maybe get a couple more sponsors in the future, maybe work on something long term with Larson if he can't figure out his sponsorship because people don't like him. I think Allgaier deserves some respect in this race. I really think he does. And he is well on his way to potentially winning that Xfinity Series championship. I want to say he swept the races at Richmond this weekend. Or, sorry, no. That was last weekend. But I'm pretty sure he won a stage at Bristol. He might have even won Bristol. I can't even remember. But this man has just been absolutely killing it. And I think it's a shame, an absolute shame that he hasn't gotten a nod to be in this race. Even just one. I've not seen one person say, yeah, Justin Allgaier deserves an opportunity in the 48. How can you not think of this man? How can you not? It's because people want the already established, but he is established, just maybe in a lower series that doesn't get enough attention. Think about that. What else is there to talk about? I don't know how I'm going to do this, how often I'm going to do this. I'm having fun. I want to do this at least once a week, and I figured why not the hell start right now? A bunch of stuff happened. In the future, I want to have some guests. If anyone hears this, interested in coming on, let me know. Even if you're just a follower, liking the content, I'd love to talk about anything racing. Doesn't have to be current, could be past, could be a scenario, could be whatever. We could have some fun on this, and I want to try to make it consistent and get the listening going and flowing and the thoughts consistent, because I know I tweet like once every 6 hours, literally, and I want to try to get my thoughts out there and get you guys involved, followers-wise, and have some fun. It's going to be a fun playoffs. I'm excited for the rest of the season, and I'm going to cut it off right here. But I hope y'all have a great day. Ben the NASCAR guy on Twitter, out.